Should we reopen? That's the question a lot of the world is asking.
Here in Taiwan, we never closed down. However, life has changed dramatically. In today's Taiwan Insider, we're going to give you a roadmap for where the rest of the world might be headed. I'm Andrew Ryan.
I'm Natalie So. Let's first take a look at the stories on our radar.
The U.S. Senate has unanimously passed a bill asking Secretary of State Mike Pompeo to develop a strategy for helping Taiwan return to the World Health Assembly as an observer. Taiwan has been barred from the annual meeting of the WHO's governing body for several years due to Chinese pressure. The assembly will convene on May 18th, this time online due to COVID-19. Good news for Taiwan's graduates. A survey has found that despite the impact of COVID-19, 62% of companies are still hiring as normal. The only downside, starting salaries will be lower across the board. Jiayi County in southern Taiwan is easing surgical mask requirements in schools. Students and teachers will be allowed to take their masks off outdoors, but masks and social distancing will still be required in classrooms. Now, a look at one of Taiwan's beloved national bears. A rescued Formosan black bear called Mulas is now a year old. Trainers recently placed a camera in a tree where the bear has built a nest and caught this adorable scene. The little bear is learning how to survive in the wild, so it can one day be released back into the mountains. And under the radar this week is a story that takes us under the sea. There was no limit on the number of fish allowed to attend the underwater graduation of a Pingdong County elementary school last week. Scuba diving is already a requirement for the students, so the staff figured, why not hold the graduation 5 meters underwater? It was not only a memorable ceremony, but also a great way to keep the kids socially distant in the time of COVID-19.
And now for our words of the week. Andrew, ready to guess mine?
Yes, what do you have? Bananas.
Are you hungry
Superman.
again?
Save the date. Sail. Salubrious? Salute.
Okay, so Nurses Day. International Nurses Day was Tuesday, so I would like to salute all the nurses and other health workers that have been fighting the pandemic on the front line. Also, we have something big to celebrate in Taiwan. Over a month of no domestic cases. I'd like to salute the government and all the people of Taiwan for working so hard for this. It's going in a good direction.
A great word. Fantastic word. A salute to everybody. All right, you ready for my word?
Yes.
All right.
Emerald. No. Emery board? No. Emerging? Emerge. Emerging.
Ta-da! Good guess. Emerging. I feel like the world is discussing whether or not, they should lift restrictions and lockdowns. It's almost like an animal emerging from hibernation. But the question is, is this groundhog going to see its own shadow and go back for more time underground?
Good question.
Hopefully not.
All right, let's put these on the shelf.
All right. Taiwan has reported 0 new cases of COVID-19 for an entire week straight. And it's been 1 month since we saw a domestic infection. And that means we could soon see looser restrictions on everyday life.
But what about international travel? Well, let's take a look at the main airport serving Taipei. This is a very empty Taiwan Taoyuan International Airport. Right now, there are only a handful of flights in and out of Taiwan each week.
So it's an unusual predicament. If there are no cases of COVID-19 in Taiwan, but the rest of the world is still dealing with the pandemic, how can we possibly open up? Here's a look at where things stand right now. Only citizens and residents can enter Taiwan.
Health Minister Chen Shizhong says Taiwan could gradually allow foreigners to enter for important business that cannot be conducted remotely.
But he also says lifting the overall ban would require a safe vaccine or drug to treat COVID-19. And the health minister says that it's hard to imagine resuming normal cross-border travel before the end of the year.
We're curious to know what the situation is like in your part of the world. Join the conversation on the Taiwan Insider Facebook page. Tell us, are you still in lockdown? And what's it like where you live? We'd love to hear from you.
As countries around the world begin lifting lockdowns, a lot of people are going to start eating at restaurants again. And what's that going to look like? Well, I'm going to give you an idea in today's Taiwan Explained. In today's Taiwan Explained, I'm going to tell you what it's like to eat in a restaurant in Taiwan in the time of coronavirus.
All right, got 60 seconds. Are you ready, Andrew?
I think so.
Go.
All right, because the cases of coronavirus have been relatively few in Taiwan, less than 450 so far, that means that a lot of restaurants have stayed open for sit-down customers. But there are a lot of rules in place to keep you safe while you're dining in. If a server puts a gun to your head, don't worry, they're probably just taking your temperature. Then they spray your hands with alcohol before you enter. Larger venues and events require you to leave your name and contact information. Staff members regularly disinfect restaurants, including tables, menus, and dishes, and staff must wear masks and wash their hands. Now, a couple other things that you'll notice when eating out in Taiwan. People use gongkuai or communal chopsticks rather than using their own chopsticks to serve themselves. Some restaurants have removed tables and blocked off seating to ensure proper social distancing. These are the signs you'll see on the tables at one restaurant. And some restaurants have even erected plastic dividers between diners. Final tips, make sure you wash your hands. And if you're feeling sick, why don't you order takeout?
Good job, Andrew.
Thank you.
Very good.
So things have changed a lot here in Taiwan since the coronavirus came.
Definitely.
Have you been eating out?
I have, not as much as before, but well, in the very beginning when we knew about the pandemic, restaurant business went way down.
Yes.
But I've noticed that since around Mother's Day, I couldn't get a table at some restaurants.
Really?
Yeah, so it's picking up again. I think partly because there's been no domestic cases for about a month, and these holidays, where you're used to eating out.
Yeah.
People are feeling a little bit more safe about going out. But, all the servers are wearing masks, and they do try to distance you if they can. So it is different than before.
I remember the first time I went to eat after the whole outbreak started, I was really nervous taking my mask off in the restaurant to eat because I was thinking, wow, I'm exposed. But there haven't been any cases or I think very few cases where people have been infected in restaurants, because people are very careful to wash their hands.
Yep.
Yeah.
So we are eating pretty well here in Taiwan.
Yes, that's right. Hopefully you will be able to do that soon in your part of the world. Now, one thing that's really difficult to do during a pandemic is get married. But with the outbreak under control, they're easing restrictions on mid-size gatherings. And that's paving the way for summer weddings.
Good news for couples that want to get married. With COVID-19 under control, health officials are giving the green light to weddings, with some restrictions. Normally, wedding banquet tables can seat 10 people, but now they're only seating 8. Wedding banquets are also limited to 250 people. A spokesperson for one hotel says that the government will require detailed guest lists, but hotel staff will help take care of that. One venue is offering free photo shoots to attract customers. Others are giving up to 50% discounts, hoping to kickstart Taiwan's struggling wedding industry.
Now, how do you celebrate an inauguration during a pandemic? Well, Taiwan is about to find out. President Taiwan's inauguration is scheduled for May 20th, but events have been scaled down to protect public health.
Wet wipes, hand cream, and a bar of Taiwan-shaped soap. These are not the typical inauguration gifts in Taiwan. But for guests at this year's ceremony, it's the perfect reminder of the country's #1 priority in the time of coronavirus, disease prevention. Another change you'll see this year? A more streamlined inauguration. In lieu of the lavish events and large crowds of the past, the presidential office is going for a more intimate setting, only inviting 200 people to attend. Even the customary inaugural banquet has been canceled. On the morning of May 20th, President Tsai will be sworn in at the presidential office. She will then move across the street to the Taipei guest house where she will give an address. The itinerary may be sparse this year, but that doesn't mean they're holding back the creativity. This year's visuals revolve around 4 themes. Jade Mountain, Taiwan's highest peak, represents the spirit of Taiwan. Interweaving lines suggest hands joined in solidarity. There's a pair of ears symbolic of listening, and finally, waving flags represent Taiwan's sovereignty. This week on #Taiwan, I want to talk to you about the beautiful city of Hong Kong and its wonderful people. Taiwan is often seen as a refuge for people from Hong Kong escaping political persecution. One person that's successfully taken refuge in Taiwan, Lam Wing-gay, a bookstore owner from Hong Kong that the Chinese government detained for selling books that were critical of the Chinese Communist Party. Lam moved to Taiwan last year and opened up a bookstore in Taipei last month. On Facebook, the response to the bookstore has been overwhelming. There has been photos of the shelves being cleaned out shortly after the bookstore opened because people just really wanted to support him and his endeavors in Taiwan. Now it looks like another prominent Hong Konger might be moving to Taiwan as well. I'm talking about Anthony Wong. And yes, I'm talking about that Anthony Wong, the famous Hong Kong actor who's worked in films in Hong Kong, Taiwan, and the US. You see, earlier this week on Facebook, Wong revealed that he was in Taiwan undergoing a mandatory 14-day quarantine. He said he was having fun by himself and answered fans' questions to pass the time. One comment, however, caught quite a bit of attention. Amanda Wu told Wong that since he's in Taiwan, he might as well apply for citizenship. And Wong responded by saying that he's getting ready to. That thread just straight up went kablamo because people in Taiwan were so excited at the prospect of Anthony Wong becoming a Taiwanese citizen. The comment got so much attention that Wong had to make a separate post saying, "Thank you to everyone for your concern. I'm still in quarantine. I will follow all of Taiwan's rules. Right now, I can't reveal too much, but thank you again for your concern." Wong has had a history of speaking up for pro-democracy groups in Hong Kong, so having Taiwanese citizenship might be appealing to him. But right now, Wong is just getting ready to film a series. However, that said, I would love it if Wong became a Taiwanese citizen. That way he can go and convince Chen Yao-fat to do the same. Not saying I like Chen Yao-fat more. The more prominent people in Taiwan, the better. You know, I don't have any favoritism one way or the other. Who am I? I'm just a dude speaking to a camera.
That wasn't just any guy. That was Leslie Liao with #Taiwan. Now be sure to follow us on social media and leave a comment below. We would love to hear from you.
Have you ever wondered how many Taiwanese things you have in your home and what those things say about your connection to Taiwan? Well, those are some of the questions that we aim to answer in a brand new game that we are calling Taiwan Face-off. Check it out.
All right, this is our very first Taiwanese Face-off with Andrew Ryan. Hi, Andrew.
Hi, how's it going, Natalie?
Leslie Liao.
Hello, everybody. Good to be here.
And these guys are at home, and the purpose of the game is to see how many Taiwanese things you have in the home, and you guys get to compete with each other, right? So the very first thing I want you guys to find and bring to us are Taiwanese drinks. Go!
No.
Oh, wow, you got a whole six-pack?
That's right. This is a six-pack of Taiwan Inauguration beer. This is ahead of inauguration on May 20th. This is special edition.
Okay, you get extra points for that, Andrew. I'll give you 2 points, all right?
Thank you.
I look a little despaired right now, but more than anything, I'm amazed at how similar our thought processes are.
Wow, that's beautiful.
This one's from 2016. It predates Andrew's.
Whoa.
That is cool.
Yeah, so there's Chen Jianren and there's Tsai Ing-wen in 8-bit. And there's the presidential office.
So you get 2 points too, because that's a collector's item. Awesome, awesome. Okay, the next item is a Taiwanese sandal. That's right, you got one, Andrew. That's 1 point for you.
I was a little sad that it wasn't what we call lambai tour or the blue and white sandal, but it's a blue and blue sandal. This is what's on my balcony.
I got home sandals.
Oh.
That counts.
Oh.
I've got a Christmas tree ornament with blue and white sandals on it.
2 points, and Leslie gets 1 point. An old picture of you in Taiwan.
Old picture of me in Taiwan.
Show us.
All right, this is one of my first trips to Taitung about 20 years ago.
Wow.
That's me wearing Puyuma tribe clothes. That's clothing made by my Taiwanese godmother.
Oh, I love that picture.
This is from my yearbook when I was at school here.
Oh, I gotta see this one. Oh my God. Oh.
That's me. That's gotta be, oh man, 15 years ago now.
Wow, that's
me
awesome.
in the school uniform and everything.
The next is Taiwanese fruit, different kinds.
Oh.
I got bananas,
Okay, that's 1 point.
wax apple,
Oh, good, Andrew.
Pineapple.
All right, so that's 3 points so far.
Guava.
4 points. Awesome. You're healthy. A lot of great fruit we have here, right?
Oh my goodness.
Wow. 5 points.
Got out of season stuff. That's not fair.
Dragon fruit.
5 points for Andrew. How about you, Leslie?
This is going to lend some insight into my dietary consumption, but I have none.
Oh no, Leslie.
Now we know what you're
I had a bunch before. I swear I had bananas and I finished some mangoes with some yogurt, but it really doesn't lend credence to anything right now.
You have one more chance to redeem yourself, okay? The last category is a Taiwanese election-related material.
Oh!
Oh, that's
Can I use the
right.
beer?
That's right.
Last inauguration, I was actually a staff member at the inauguration, and I have my staff pass.
Oh, cool.
This is like the layout, stage layouts, and then a copy of President Tsai's speech,
Oh, wow.
and just all the materials that we were given as reference points to make sure we knew what we were gonna, if anybody asked us any questions.
But Andrew still won. He had 12 points overall, while you had 9 points. So Andrew's the most Taiwanese today.
I'm not surprised, like,
Only today.
that really does not surprise me. Like, we are saying things, this is not new information to me in every way, shape, or form.
I had a feeling Andrew would win. Great job, you guys. Thanks for playing our very first Taiwanese Face-off.
Bye.
Some of the biggest names in the Mando pop industry appeared in a concert on Monday. And it wasn't a typical concert in front of a live audience. It was online.
The stars and the audience joined in from all around the world. And the reason for the concert? It was International Nurses Day on May 12th. Taiwanese pop star Chou appears singing on camera, and he's got a surprise for his fans. It's Singapore pop star JJ Lin in a rare duet, and then there's Hong Kong pop star Andy Lau. And they're not the only stars. Some of the biggest pop stars in Asia lent their voices in an online concert to honor all of the nurses on the front lines of the global pandemic. Stars from Taiwan, Hong Kong, China, Singapore, and Malaysia came together to offer encouragement to nurses and fans alike.
伟大的白衣天使，谢谢你们无私的奉献。
Now it's time to catch up with the week's news with our lightning round news quiz. I'm going to quiz my colleagues, Leslie and Andrew. They have 60 seconds to guess as many questions from the news, and you can play along at home if you want. You guys ready?
Yeah, sure.
No questions about
Ready
fruit,
says-
right? I just want to make sure.
No.
Okay.
Okay, so ready? Go. In a recent Pew Research survey of Taiwanese, 2/3 identified themselves as
Taiwanese.
Taiwanese. Very good. What new treatment successfully allowed 12 out of 14 COVID-19 patients in Taiwan to recover within 10 days?
It was Chinese medicine.
Yes. What does the bill pass in the U.S. Senate on Monday ask Secretary of State Pompeo to do?
Support Taiwan's entry to
WHA.
WHO.
That's
WHO.
right. Amendments to the Senior Citizens Welfare Act says that who is now obligated to support the elderly financially?
Kids? Their children?
Kids always have been.
Their
The government?
parents? Their friends? Teachers?
Who else is in their life?
Pets?
Spouses.
Oh, okay.
What's happening on June 6th?
June 6th. An
recall.
eclipse.
Recall. Very good. Recall of Mayor Han Kuo-yu, who recently changed their references to Taiwan.
22 airlines.
Very good,
Wow,
Leslie.
damn.
Who are resigning from their jobs today?
President, Vice President?
The cabinet?
No.
Cabinet. Very good, Leslie. And what scared a woman in Orchid Island when she was using the bathroom?
A snake.
An alligator.
The scary hornet. Her friend.
A cat? A dog?
A bear?
A chicken? A
Keep
bear?
trying,
A
keep trying.
raccoon?
In Orchid Island. Wait, we can do this.
Orchid Island.
It would be something from a flying fish.
Shark?
Noise is made from a crab coming from the toilet where she was sitting. Oh, look at the picture of the crab.
I'm never using the toilet again.
Oh, that's terrifying.
You guys did a great job, especially Leslie.
Especially Leslie.
No fruit questions. I did.
Awesome job. All right, so that was our lightning round news quiz for the week.
Thanks so much for joining us for this inside look at Taiwan this week. Be sure to connect with us on social media.
Yes, let us know how things are going in your country. For Taiwan Insider, I am Natalie So.
I'm Leslie Liao.
And I'm Andrew Ryan. See you next week.